Every day means every day. My name is Brandon Burns, and in this video, I'm going to show you the difference between an elite high achiever, somebody who's operating at absolute peak performance, and everybody else. It's one thing and one thing only. I've noticed this across my work with EME and Grammy Award winning artists, with 8-figure entrepreneurs and CEOs, and even with Olympic athletes compared to other people who strive for achievements like that but never quite get there. There's one thing that high performing set of individuals have that no one else does. This one thing is the X factor between striving and thriving, between hoping and dreaming for success and actually achieving it and living it out in real life. And this can manifest itself in a variety of different ways. I mean, for some people, if they don't have this one key component, they're going to start a business and it's going to fail and they're not going to be able to persevere through the hard times and it's just going to come crashing down. For some people, it's their marriage that ends up in a divorce. For some people, it's their athletic careers that end up in shambles. I don't know what it is for you. Their fitness, that they lose the weight and then they can't keep it off. Whatever that thing is for you, I'm telling you, if you can implement this one change that we're going to talk about in this video, it's going to change everything. So what is this elusive, mysterious thing that I'm talking about here? Well, let me tell you a quick story about an interview that I was watching recently online. There was this guy who was interviewing a Delta Force operator, former Delta Force operator, of course. And a lot of people in U.S. just common culture think that Navy SEALs are the end-all be-all. Navy SEALs are the baddest of the bad. They're the best of the best. And that's the tip of the spear in terms of elite U.S. military power. But in reality, while the Navy SEALs are incredibly good, they're actually what's considered a Tier 2 unit, with the exception of one particular SEAL Team 6. They're considered a Tier 1 military unit. But there's another unit in the United States military called Delta Force, and all of those guys are Tier 1. Matter of fact, they recruit people to join Delta Force from the Navy SEALs. And so Delta Force, although they get a lot less shine, they're not in the movies as often, they don't have book deals when they retire nearly as often as Navy SEALs, they're not framed in that limelight the way that the SEALs are. But if we're talking about the most elite fighting force that the United States military has to offer, you would be ignorant to say anything other than the Delta Force. And I was watching this interview, and the guy was interviewing the former Delta operator, and he said, what makes the training different with you guys compared to every other branch of the military or every other unit in the military or even any other units across the face of the globe? And the guy said, well, let me explain to you how training works. If you are, let's say, a Navy SEAL, you always have a standard to hit. You know, I have to hit this many push-ups in this amount of time. I have to complete this water training exercise. Here's the criteria for success. Here's the time limit. I have to run this far, ruck this far, whatever it might be. You know what the criteria for success are. And because the SEAL teams are such a community, everything that you do is with a partner or with your team or with your group. It's all group activities. And he said, you can draw energy from your teammates. If you're down, but somebody else has a lot of energy, you can feed off of that. If you have a lot of energy and you're motivated, you're inspired, and some of your other teammates are dragging a little bit, you can help lift them up. It's a team effort and a team environment. And in fact, that's what the Navy SEALs want because they always operate in teams. He said the difference is with Delta Force, what we do, what our training is we get dropped off in the middle of the woods with a ruck on our back, 40, 50, 60 pounds, and we got to walk 20-something miles to another coordinate point. And we don't have a cell phone. We don't have a laptop. All we have is a compass. And there's no instructor there. There's no teammate there. There's no one there cheering you on. There's no one there supporting you. There's no one there to tell you what to do, how to do it. There's nothing. It's just you alone. And to make matters worse, they don't tell you what the standard is. He said, inevitably, each operator who's going through the training sequence, they always ask the question, sir, what's the minimum time that I have to hit? And the trainer can only say one thing and one thing only: do the best you can. But sir, is there a particular, do the best that you can. Sir, let me just ask, do the best that you can. That's all that they are allowed to say. See, What they're doing is putting people in an environment when there's nobody watching. There's no cameras, there's no drones overhead, there's no instructor, there's nobody. When no one is watching, who are you? That's what they're trying to find out. When no one's watching. Furthermore, when there is no finish line, when there is no benchmark, because by the way, the really crazy part about what he said was that once you finally get to that other coordinate, you don't know if that's the last one. They might make you do it again and again and again. You don't know where the finish line is. You don't know what the minimum standard is. You don't know where the finish line is. You don't know when this is going to end. You don't know what you're going to encounter on the way over there. So what happens is you end up in this environment where you are trapped inside your own mind, your own soul. And all that you have to contend with is you. You know, anybody can push themselves when other people are counting on them. And I think as a motivational tactic, that's a phenomenal thing to do. I think that if you're struggling to get motivated to get out there and make some money, to better yourself, to succeed, to do more, to be more, then absolutely you should start thinking about your family. Absolutely you should start thinking about the people that you're going to leave an impact on. You should start thinking about other people. So as a motivational force, I think that's hardly second to none. But what about when you don't have that? What about when you take that away? Who are you at your most raw form? Who are you? What's your spirit made of? Take away all the good you're going to do for everybody else. Let's just say it doesn't matter. Let's say you're in a universe by yourself. If you were in a universe by yourself, which is basically what these guys are doing, I mean, that's the environment that they put them in, would you exhibit character for character's sake? Or do you only do it because you know other people are watching? Would you work hard for the sake of the intrinsic value of the effort and the work ethic that you possess? Or do you only do that because you're being competitive and trying to hit a standard? See, there's a difference between an ego thing or even a success thing, which I think really is just a derivative of an ego thing, and saying, I'm going to attempt to hit this standard because A, other people are watching, B, because I feel an obligation because of the other people watching, or C, because it's just going to make me feel good to hit the standard, to feel like I've succeeded, because I've accomplished something. I'm not saying that that's wrong. Those forces are what make the world go round, but I'm saying strip all of them away. If you're in a universe by yourself, are you still that same person? Are you still that same person? Is the content of your spirit as such that you would behave the same way in a universe with billions of people versus a universe with one person, where there is no reward, where there is no happy outcome for succeeding, where there is no finish line for you to race towards? Everybody can be motivated when there's a finish line. If I tell you to sit on the ground and hold a plank for 10 minutes, that might be a long time to you, or 30 minutes. Scale it up for wherever you're at with your fitness. That might seem like a long time to you, but as the clock inches closer to whatever that time is, you're going to start to feel stronger. You're going to start to believe in yourself. You're going to start to think that you can do it, especially if you've got somebody there cheering you on, especially if you're in front of multiple people and now you don't want to let them down. You don't want to embarrass yourself. But if you're alone in your apartment and you just turn off the TV, turn off the music, no headphones, no phone, no entertainment, no nothing, no finish line, no time. You don't even have a clock, don't even have a watch. And you just get down into a plank. You start the timer and then slide the phone away. How hard do you push yourself then? See, what peak performers do, what high achievers do, is they do the stuff that a lot of people can dig deep and find within them when it's all on the line, when it's a high pressure situation, when everybody's watching, when everybody's counting on them. They do that stuff in the dark. They do that stuff when they're alone. They do that stuff when there is no finish line, when there is no reward, when there is no public recognition. They do that stuff because it's who they are, not what they do. And if you want to get to that level, then you've got to make a transition from this is what I do to this is who I am. It's going from an action to an identity. I've made videos before about the pyramid, right? Actions, identity, belief, experiences. You got to give yourself the experience of over and over and over and over and over again. I'm working hard. I'm adhering to a certain set of standards, not because of the result that I hope to get, but because this is who I am. This is who I've defined myself by. You got to give yourself that experience over and over and over again, or it's never going to happen. You can sit there and listen to speakers all day long. You can sit there and listen to people like me all day long. You can sit there all day long and freaking visualize and meditate and all this garbage, and you can do all the things that the gurus tell you to do. You can do it all day long. And it'll make you feel good. It'll make you hype. It'll make you energized. But until you prove it over and over and over and over and over again, nothing in your life is going to change. Not your money, not your relationships, not your fitness, not your status. Nothing's going to change until you start doing in the dark what you want to be seen in the light. Because I'm telling you, the real ones, being seen is not their goal. Being a version of themselves that they admire and respect. That's the goal. For its own sake. For its own sake. Something to think about for you. Hey, till next time, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe and share this with somebody else that will find value from this. Send it to your gym buddy. Send it to somebody who's down and out right now. Send it to somebody who needs an uplifting message. An uplifting message, but one that might push you just a little bit. All right, till next time, don't forget, every day means every day.